Hello everybody, I'm Cuzzer88 back with another 5-minute redstone tutorial. Today I'm going to be covering item sorters as they were requested in my comments section, so thank you very much for that. So let's talk through a few key components of what's going on in front of us here. So as always, we've got the concrete denoting anything that's carrying a redstone current. So what we have here, we have a redstone torch which is powering this hopper, and what that is doing is it is stopping this hopper from allowing anything to go through it. So no matter what I put in there, nothing is going to go through. On the upper level here then we have a comparator which is looking at this hopper, okay, and when it's given the right cues, which we'll talk about in a second, eventually this will kick out enough signal that this redstone dust will eventually power this repeater. This repeater will overpower this redstone torch, turning the torch off, which will in turn open this hopper and the items will flow into this chest here. Let's explain the rest of the system then. This is where I'm going to put some items into the system, and they're going to be pulled along from point A all the way along to point B by this hopper chain. Now this hopper chain you may have seen in other people's videos. It can be an ice stream, water stream, anything that even a minecart that enables the items to go from A to B. In this case I'm just using a hopper line for ease. So as the items go along here then they'll keep going along until eventually they enter a hopper that has a filter underneath it that says yes please, I want some of you in it. So in this case it's green concrete, okay, and a hopper will always empty from the first item that is in it. So all of these are classed as blockers, and then the item that you want to filter is taken from the first one. Everybody's still with me so far? So here we have the filter system. Now for this video, for ease, I'm using red sand as my blocking items, okay. Now if you were to do this for real, whatever you use as your blocker needs to be an item that is not going to go through your system, because if I was to chuck in some red sand now into the system, what will start happening is it starts adding up here, okay, and I'll talk about it in more detail further in the video, but what that will do is that will break your filter on your item filter, and you will have items going where they shouldn't be going. So what most people do, you can just use any item that you know is not going to go into your system. So if you was doing a cow cooking system, for example, you know you're not going to be getting diamonds for it. You could have an extremely expensive item blocker, but you would know that diamonds aren't going to go through the system. You could use them there and it would stop things going through, okay. But the other easiest way to do it, if you've got the levels to do so, is just name an item with an anvil and place that item in there, and then that way that won't stack with any other items that go through the system because you've renamed it a unique name. Now, when items go through here, at the moment there is not enough items in here to turn this comparator off, okay. The exact number is 22 items. So if we look now, just to save time, I'm just going to manually put things in. So if I put a load of extra green items in here, you can see they filter through, okay, and they are now going into that chest. If you see, it is stopped on 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 items is the magic number. That is the sweet spot that sends out enough redstone power to light up this dust, but not enough to activate this repeater and turn the torch off, okay. So whatever you do in this system, you're always going to have 18 of the item you want to filter plus another one taken up, okay. There's always one in here purely because by the time an item drops through and this switches off, okay, it happens so quick that an item gets stuck in this hopper. So you'll always have effectively 19 items of the thing that you want to filter tied up in this system. Well, okay, why don't you just increase the number of filter blockers? And as you can see, as I increase this number, because I'm still keeping 22 items in this system, the number of desirable items, the number of items that I need to filter, is going down, okay. If you do that, I'll explain, it'll make more sense in a second when I build the second part, If you do that, you will remove this stackable feature of this system, and you remove the overflow feature of this system. Okay, we'll talk about that in a bit more detail in a second. So that you can see the system in work, then I'm going to start building a second filter system. Again, still keeping the red concrete for those that are carrying charge. Hopper going into the chest. So again, that hopper is being closed by this redstone torch. That repeater is what's going to turn that redstone torch off. Now, it doesn't matter if your redstone dust connects like this, and I'll explain why momentarily, all in due course. Temporary item on there so that I can place this hopper going into it, and then I'll remove it. Now I'm going to set up this hopper like I did the others. So blocking items, and then this one is going to filter red concrete. Okay, now in this case what you should find, if I put some red and green concrete in there, they'll both go along. This hopper is going to ignore any red concrete that goes in it and send it further down the system. This one's obviously going to grab the red concrete out. It's going to go through our filters, and what we should end up with is green in this one. Yep, check. And red in this one. Perfect. And that is our item filter. And that is completely stackable. We can keep this going along and along and along for as many items as we want for as far as we want. So why can't we make this system so that it requires less items of the desired item in it? Well, let's talk through that now. So let's say we set this system up so that it only requires one filter item, which sounds perfect, especially if one of the things you're filtering, for example, is something valuable like diamonds. Okay, what would happen now, because this is tileable, so what I mean by that is one filter followed by one filter followed by one filter, the redstone dust gets interconnected. Now that is not a problem if you have a maximum of 64, 65, 66, 67, 68 items in this hopper, because the redstone signal that's given out isn't enough to crosswire and turn this one off. However, now we have a situation where if I get some more green concrete, everyone watches this torch right here. If I place my green concrete in here, you see the redstone torch on the second side turned off. Now that is because so many items are in there that a redstone power is being kicked out, that is then hopped over onto the other line, setting this repeater off, turning this torch off, and that has now caused all of the item blockers and the item filter to drop out of this hopper into this chest. Okay, and that now means as other items are coming along in this system, rather than any junk items going to the end, you've got now any items going through this hopper and into here. Okay, and so you've wiped out your item sorter system. However, if you still find yourself thinking, well, I really only want one item in there, it's absolutely not a problem. All you need to do is design your storage system with enough space. Oh, apologies. With enough space to just be able to leave a gap. And it is as simple as that. And then that way you can have your item hopper set up with 5, 5, 5 and 6 and only one item of the thing that you are filtering in there. Okay everyone, that is the end of the tutorial. I really hope that was nice and easy for you to follow along with, and it explained some of the concepts of what is going on in a item sorter system. If you'd like to see this be expanded upon, so different ways of being able to transport your items from A to B rather than using a hopper line, which is what I've done here, or if you'd like to see how to potentially add a shulker system to it, where shulker boxes get broken down and entered into the system. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm Cuzzer88. Until next time, love you, miss you, bye.